What is up, my Pro Design Builder family? How you doing? I'm Sam, also known as the Pro Design Builder, and I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. So I wanted to shoot a impromptu live. Uh, One, because it's Wednesday and this is when I shoot lives, but also two, it is also the new year. So there's a lot of different thoughts and things that happen on the new year that people want to accomplish, change, improve habits, overcome, etc. So I just want to just kind of speak into what what 2025 looked like for me personally and financially and as far as a business, and then also two, looking forward to 2026. How do we prepare to change certain things in our lives, right? So I'm a big visionary. I've been able to really envision a lot of things and also see it come to fruition, and also build dreams for people when it comes to building custom homes, building developments for developers, etc. So I'm lucky in that capacity and understanding, the whole mindset that's needed to create visions. So 2025, I'm not gonna lie, was a challenging year, and I don't know if I shared this on here or not, but 2025 was a very challenging year for me. The year started out slower than I really wanted to as far as business goes. And then what happened mid-year is I lost my son, which was 2 years old, baby Taco, tragically. So, as you could imagine, trying to navigate managing business, your home, your spouse, the kids, everybody that's dealing with and grieving this loss, has been very challenging, right? And still have to put a good face on, each and every day, and put one foot in front of the other. It's very necessary and also very challenging. So, I'm still not out of this particular season because obviously we're in a season of grieving, a season of change, a season of remembering, our son for who he was, the joy that he brought into the room, and the loss of not having, the kid's baby brother, around, anymore. So it's been challenging, but I will tell you this, right? I've been through a lot of challenging things in my life because of how life started for me, right? We don't control our cards, right? The cards are dealt how they're dealt, and that's by God, right? And that's literally what has allowed us to get through this season, is just putting all of our cards on God, and with the understanding that, all right, well, He is creating this plan, and what does He want us to do? Well, what does He want us to strengthen? All right, how does this situation strengthen us? And that's kind of how I've always attacked situations that are especially traumatic, or I call it um, impact moments, especially like this one. Is what does God want us to see, and how do we strengthen? We only strengthen through losses and challenges, right? So my family and I have, been very straightforward in this situation, in this challenging season. We have very open dialogue as a family, in how the kids feel and the different challenges that we need to cross, and taking my therapy journey very seriously as well. And as the leader of my home, it's very important that I lead well, but also too, I get the care from a mental aspect that I need, to continue to lead people, lead this family, lead my business, lead, different sports teams that I coach for the kids. So, needless to say, this has been a challenging year. But like I said, how did I deal with it? Right? I took all of that, and I just gave it to God. Right? Something that I don't hide. I don't Um, I don't hide from it. This is just this part of me, and through the challenges, I've seen certain things, and this makes the most sense to me. So I just really just truly just give it up to God and allow Him to give me the clarity that I need through the season. So the other day, I was driving down the street, right? And there was a homeless lady on the side of the road off of 95. And then what happened was I could just see the pain in her eyes, and I just called her over. I said, "Hey, listen, what's your story?" All right? Because we all have a story. We all are dealing with something in the background. Business is business. People are people. Life is life. No one is ever been guaranteed a good life or a perfect life or unblemished life. I can promise you that. But anyways, let me get back to my story. So when I asked her, "Hey, listen, what's your story?" She says to me, this is what she said to me. She says, "I lost my son and I lost my reason to live. And as a matter of fact, I am still looking for a reason to live. And it's been 10 years or so," right? And I go, wow, how relatable was that story for me to catch, right? And I didn't mention that I lost my son, but I could connect with her and relate and understand that, hey, listen, I know what this feels like, but let's just pray, right? So I sat there, prayed with her, and really made the connection that way, and getting the clarity of God knowing who she is and her relying on Him to be able to put the next foot in front of the other is important, right? And also too, people are watching. People know, the challenges that we're going through. People know that we're in foster care. People know that we're adopting kids. People know, what family means, to me, as a man and as a servant of Christ. I don't hide that. So, it's been a challenge, right? But there's been also some really good things that has happened too, right? In your loss, in your most challenging moments, there's such a big opportunity. There's such a great opportunity that you get to be formed and you get to be shaped, you get to be woven, you get to be uh, sculpted, so to speak. Right? I was listening to one of my favorite preachers, Philip Anthony Mitchell, and he says these challenging times and these challenging stories should pay you. You should never come out of a challenging time and it not pay you, right? I truly feel strongly about that. Every challenging story, every challenging situation has paid off dividends into the future. And the reason why it does that is because it alerts the brain, hey, listen, something's wrong here. There's imperfection. There's work to be done, right? Now, how do some people deal with challenging times? Well, some people deal with challenging times by saying, hey, listen, I'm going to grab a drink or I'm going to grab some drugs or however they deal with the challenging time, but that's an endless hole. You'll never be filled, right? Some people will just go through the same situation. Somebody will get through the other side with success, and somebody will completely collapse and make excuses for themselves, right? But we're all human. We're all going through this human experience together, right? But you have to be able to grow through your experiences in a way that allows for you to put one foot in front of the other, right? So as we're looking into 2026, it's important several things. One, that you write down your goals, right? Write down the habits that you're going to need to build to accomplish these goals. Also, you're going to need to uh, make sure that you become the person that warrants six figures, or you become the person that warrants building this, new vision for yourself and your family. You become the person that wants exponential growth for yourself for it to happen. The reality is, it does not happen without messy action, and it does not come without doing it scared. Right? That's just the reality of the situation. No, so the good thing for me is because I grew up in a challenging environment. I did a lot of things scared. I skipped school scared. I fought scared. I did a lot of things I probably had no business doing. But what it gave me is a level of desensitization, right? Where I could categorize certain things. Is this danger or is this fear, right? And the two are not the same, right? Danger is danger. Hey, listen, my life is being threatening. I could potentially lose my life. That's one thing, right? But then there's fear. That's where typically people deal with is a level of fear that makes them freeze, right? Or so scared that they just do nothing, right? That's just not me because I just had a lot of practice in this area. But how do you grow past this area of fear so you could reach abundance, right? So you could reach the biggest and best version of yourself. So for a long time for me, I kind of ran away from, the parts of my story that were so rough. And with a lot of therapy and time and understanding, like, hey, listen, you're battle tested, and you know what? That's not a bad thing. These things shape you and make you you, and understanding your why attached to why you are or why are you doing the things that you're doing is so important, right? And this is how you move the needle. So if there's anything that I could, translate to you guys, if you're a high achiever, you're looking to accomplish big goals, or you're looking to move the needle in your life, is to really hone in on your why, right? Hone in on that. So there's a book by Simon Sinek called Start With Why, right? And I think I might have mentioned this before, but I decided to be a lifelong learner. And what does that come with, right? So I'm an avid reader. I'm consuming dozens of books per year, and I'm always adding to my bag, my repertoire, my bag of knowledge, as a father, as a leader, as a business owner, as a theist, in my faith, I'm constantly adding to my bag of knowledge, which is funny because when I was growing up, I was in dropout prevention, or one of the bad kids or dumb kids, right? I just didn't fully apply myself. Plus, I had a lot of things going on. When you are in an environment where you're seeing people just pretty much try to kill people in front of you, during the crack epidemic, it becomes very challenging to focus on what school or what normal is. So with that, though, I bring a sense of perspective and reality to life that people can relate to. So if you are if you can relate to that, comment relate, in the comment section, if you could kind of relate to some of the things that I just talked about, right? Some of the things that I talked about, you may not be able to relate to, which is okay as well. So, but the thing that I want you to be able to relate to is things like your vision don't happen on their own, right? It comes with work, right? It comes with betting on yourself. It comes with being consistent. It comes with forcing yourself to grow, right? For you to achieve the life and the vision that you want to achieve for yourself, right? That's something that I know for a fact. So I remember this was my junior year, right? And like I said, I grew up in poverty, right? So I wrote myself a letter, and it was during junior recollection, right? And some of the pressing things at that time on my mind was getting a scholarship to college, paying for school. One of the options was potentially going to the Army. And I had all of these different concerns that I had wrote down in my junior year, right? And I just remember when I opened this letter up, when I got to my senior year, I had looked at all of the things that I had worried about and were challenged with in my junior season to figure out and to put a exclamation point, so to speak, on. And when I read this letter, I had accomplished every item on that list that I was worried about, right? So, but in that season, which is kind of like a blur, right, in the senior season, I didn't miss a lift. I challenged myself through every workout. I participated in, and I pushed myself. I don't allow people um, to take it easy or to take time off and stuff like that. So I won a state championship in wrestling. I got a college scholarship. I got school paid for. I didn't have to go to the Army. All of these things that I was worried about and I checked off on my list, all of it came from hard work, right? So knowing how to run and establish a business like the one that I run with design, building, remodeling, and construction is going to be important for you to know and understand all of the details. How do you become professional in your business, right? So, and then also too, you cannot freeze, right? There's always more to know. You'll learn as you go, right? And I just remember me as a young contractor learning as I go, right? And I would challenge myself to things that I've never done before, and I would look at it. Obviously, for us, we put it down on paper, so you have parameters on, on what this thing looks like, and then just put all of the pieces together to make this thing come alive, right? And that's essentially what it takes. Right? I just remember my mentor, Jeff, that I mentioned him before, and I don't know if you caught all my videos, but Jeff said, I sell a system that gets you to that custom home. I sell a system that gets you to that complete home remodel. I sell a system that gets you to that X, Y, and Z, right? And that's what's important, right? Knowing having the right systems in place and the right accountability to get you to where you're going is what's going to be important, right? And I highly recommend that everybody gets a mentor or a coach that's going to add value to their life, right? So I'm excited about 2026. I'm not going to lie. I sat down and talked to my wife. We had our planning meeting, and she said to me, I don't want to have another year like 2025, right? Obviously, there's things in our life that are completely out of our control, but the things that are in our control, we can work towards and accomplish, right? So my focus next year is about investing in people and investing in my business, investing in my family, and investing into our future and our company, right? So I'm looking forward to meeting more people in person and really kind of getting to know people's stories, because I truly feel like your story really kind of tells you so much about resilience, so much about what someone has to go through to accomplish and build, generational wealth for themselves and their family. So hopefully, I can't be any more transparent than this. This is kind of who I am on the day-to-day. And, when I'm not teaching, this is kind of how I function and operate and how I communicate. So, let me know what your goals are for if you got through whatever it's 19, 20 minutes of this video. Write goals in the comment section and just share your goals for 2026. And if you need someone to hold you accountable to reaching your goals, just write goals. If you're serious in 2026, share those goals with me, and I'll have no problem holding you accountable. So outside of that, I just wanted to say truly Happy New Year. I'm looking forward to the new year. I'm looking forward to what God has for us in this next season. I'm looking forward to pushing you guys to whatever goals that you guys have and want to imagine in your future. And outside of that, just wanted to say thank you for a great 2025. Have a great day.